We're also looking forward to expanding the Marvel Cinematic Universe to include X-Men, Fantastic Four, and Deadpool, and to reuniting all of the Star Wars movies ever made under one roof again, which opens new opportunities for that iconic franchise.
Alright, so if you guys stayed with me last night on Twitter, you saw it was trending like this deal was finna close. And the numbers were going crazy, like inside rumors talking about 75 billion, which started at 60 billion and shot all the way up. It was crazy. But then Disney came out this morning and they confirmed a more realistic price of what they paid to acquire all these properties, which was a whopping $52.4 billion. Like, they really dug into the money bin for this one. And so, as you guys already know, I've done videos talking about some of the changes in the properties that they would acquire had they done this purchase. I actually have a playlist of those videos and I'll leave a link in the description down below. But the article that Disney released this morning was very specific about a number of properties that they purchased. And the way that this works, they acquired 21st Century Fox film production companies, and within those companies or those businesses lie the rights to a whole bunch of properties. And those properties include Avatar, X-Men, Fantastic Four, Deadpool, and that's just to name a few. So the audio you heard at the beginning of this video is a clip from the actual conference call this morning, and that recorded conference and the slides are all available on Disney's website. And so if you look at this slide here, at the top you'll see properties that are already owned by Disney, whether it's their television service, their film properties, or even their streaming services. And as we discussed before, Disney already owned 30% of Hulu, but with the acquisition that took place today, they purchased another 30% of Hulu, which makes Disney now the majority shareholder. And as you guys know, we've been following Disney and their plans now for some time, and with them making it clear that they have plans to start their own streaming services, a lot of speculation has been made that they would take Hulu and turn that into their streaming services. But according to the details in the conference call today, that may or may not be the case, because at the moment they still view Hulu as more of a adult targeted streaming service. But what they also mentioned is that they want to have the option for people who want the adult content, the things that are family friendly, or the things that are for children only, but also provide an option for people who want all of the above. And however they work that option for all of the above, I think that's the one that's really gonna blow up, because that'll be your one-stop shop for all Star Wars properties. It'll offer your sports, your Marvel films, and for most people who are trying to save and go to one service, that's more than likely where they'll go. And from the direction it sounds like they're taking right now, Hulu will be mainly where you can find like your Jessica Jones, Luke Cage, Daredevil, Punisher, Defenders, and any of the newer properties that they add on to those as well. But keep in mind, how they're separating it, they're still figuring that out right now. And when I first listened to it, I was like, you trying to nickel and dime me. But when they did mention that they're going to have an option that includes everything, at that point, then I was like, okay, that's what I needed to hear. But the specifics of that are yet to be announced, and I'll definitely keep you posted here on the channel. But now I want to talk about the films for a little bit. And so now with Disney getting X-Men, Fantastic Four, and Deadpool in the MCU, this only leaves Spider-Man with his Rogues Gallery and the Hulk as the only two Marvel characters that Disney doesn't fully own the rights to. And I say that because I believe that Marvel got Ghost Rider and Blade back around the same time that they got Punisher back. And if I'm not mistaken, those three were under a clause like if they sold the film rights, there was a stipulation that if they don't make films, like if the other studios don't make films with the characters after so many years, then the rights go back to Marvel. But the way it is now with the current negotiations that Disney has with Universal for the Hulk and the current agreement that Disney has with Sony for Spider-Man, the possibilities of the story arcs that we want to see are nearly limitless. And so now because of this deal, the only limitation that Marvel really has now as far as producing the Marvel film, or that Disney really has now for producing a Marvel film, is one, they still can't do a standalone Hulk film, and two, with Spider-Man being leased for a set number of films, Disney only has to lease the Spider-Man for a limited time. And this lease that Disney has only has a short list of the characters from Spider-Man's Rogue Gallery. And this means if Disney wants to purchase Spider-Man, Venom, you know, Uncle Ben, like Spider-Man's price just went up. And I say this because Sony knows that they own one of the few properties that will complete the Marvel Cinematic Collection. And for Sony to come up off of this card, they're going to want Marvel to give up a pretty penny. But let me know you guys' thoughts down in the comments below. Let me know what you're most excited to see out of this purchase. But one more thing, what's funny to me is like under their popular content and franchises, you see X-Men, you see Deadpool, you don't see Fantastic Four. And it's not because they didn't acquire it, but in the negotiations, it wasn't considered popular. But we'll see what happens now that they're in the MCU and the world finally has a chance to see who Doctor Doom is. Like the real Doctor Doom. But that's it, you guys. Hit me in the comments, let me know your thoughts. And also check out my other video where I talk about the changes that are being made and also the opportunities that Marvel has to introduce mutants into the MCU. And none of which include Terrence Howard and the X-Men, I promise. But if you're new to the channel, do like and subscribe, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Alright, later.